Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lune, or that is my alias on this channel. So, hello, I'm Lune. So I just wanted to do a little video today, talk about perspective and how that impacts your life and the direction you choose. Recently I had a lot of, I've had so many run-ins with different spiritual things, but it's not just about spiritual stuff. It's a big part of our lives as human beings, our souls. We are souls at the end of the day. We are not just human beings, but we only have the capacity of humans at this moment in time in our evolution. So we got right now. But I just think about it. I was exploring religion recently, and I grew up in a place where, like, in an institution, a religious institution. I grew up in one as a child, and so I kind of hated it. I won't lie, because there was a lot of hypocrisy involved, and again, it just depends on where you go, what you're around, how people are practicing it. Again, it's all about perspective. But I found that there were a lot of rules and perspectives about spirituality and God and everything that didn't feel correct, felt limited, just did not feel right to me. And so I found myself rebelling against it a lot. But you're a kid, you rebel against things anyway, but it was like a different type of rebel. It was a soul rebellion from the soul, if you will. So as I grew up, I would notice these different patterns, different things in institutions, educational institutions, religious institutions, other institutions that just didn't sit right with me, and I never knew why. Until now, or I'm starting to see it now. It's very interesting. So, again, it's all about perspective. When you grow up in an environment where you are taught certain things, you are conditioned to believe those things. You are conditioned to internalize the things that are being repeated around you. So, for example, if you see, here, I'll use personal example. When I was a child, I witnessed people abusing each other. I know this is trigger warning. I witnessed people abusing other people. And then after the abuse would be ignored. So I internalized that, and it became a bad, internalization for me, to where in the future I accepted abuse. Even though I knew it was wrong, I accepted it because of the way I was conditioned, thinking it was okay in my subconscious, which was overriding my conscious mind that was like, what are you doing? Why are you accepting that? So that's why it's really important to kind of backtrack through your past. And I know that, don't be stuck in the past, but it's actually a very good idea to look back at things that happened in your past to kind of show you why you're doing certain things now, the way that you are. What beliefs did you internalize? What behaviors, conditioning did you internalize that are leading to the behavior and the beliefs and the values that you have now? And how does that not align with your soul? How is it fighting against your soul of who you really are? That's something that's very important to look at, especially right now. Or really just whenever you see this video. For you, it's important right now, so that's why you're seeing this. So how do we address it? How do we address the conditioning? like I said, backtrack. What moments, what memories, what traumas, even if it's hard, have led to the way you are now? For me, like that example I used, I didn't fully recognize it until I remembered one memory. The first memory, where I witnessed that abuse, experienced it too. And I realized that that was what was conditioning me to feel this way. And so once you can recognize what's happening, that's the first step to rewriting, breaking free from that conditioning, and reconditioning yourself. People can call it reparenting, whatever you want to call it, into ways that are beneficial. Behaviors, habits, self-beliefs, values that are beneficial for you and for everyone around you. So there are perspectives that are better than others. I'm just going to be honest. There are. You can be someone who thinks the world is horrible, awful in all ways, or you can be someone who thinks the world is amazing and perfect in all ways. But both of those perspectives don't take into account the full picture. They are narrow, single-minded. And someone might become triggered by me saying that. I don't really know, don't really care. By the way, triggers are just, they are messages from yourself telling you that you need to look at something. And it is uncomfortable, but it's important to recognize when you're being triggered. It tells you a lot. Again, about the conditioning, what doesn't connect to your soul, what's not right, what do I need to fine tune so that I can be better in alignment with my soul. Yeah. So again, perspective. So you can have those single-minded, narrow perspectives, or you can recognize that there is good and bad in the world. It's not a good idea to only be stuck ruminating in the bad, but it's also not a good idea to ignore the bad altogether. Either you're ignorant or you are so enraptured in the bad that you can't even conceive of what good can be done in spite of the bad. You get stuck. Either way, you get stuck. So I think it's important to acknowledge the bad in the world, the bad in yourself, and accept it for what it is, but recognize that it does not have to be that way all the time, and that these things are changeable. Improvements can be made on a small scale and on a large scale, but it starts with us, individuals. And it's not even, you don't even have to be one of those people, like, I don't know, Albert Einstein, like some, like, people that are well known to make a difference. These people were recognized on a large scale, but think about all the other people that people never knew about that made a change simply by being themselves and putting certain perspectives into different areas of different disciplines in the world, different areas of the world. They may have inspired someone who was one of those well-known people. You'll never know, though. They were behind the scenes. And so a lot of the results are not visible. They're not conscious. And they don't just come out of nowhere. There's that gradual build, the gradual lessons, the journey that brings us to those breakthroughs, those destinations as people, individually and on a large scale. So I was reading, I wanted to make sure I mentioned this, so I wrote it down. I'm reading Atomic Habits, the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he does talk about that, about these small habits. They build up to a bigger result over time. So if you invest in bad habits, in bad ways of thinking, you will only get that because that is what you're focusing on. And if it keeps building like that, that's just what you're gonna get. So, for example, say you're eating bad, right? You're eating bad. So then your body's not gonna feel good. And then say like you want to start eating healthy and you eat healthy for a week, but you're not feeling better yet. Like you don't feel the full effects of the new eating habit that you are trying to implement yet. So you give up. Well, now what's going to happen? You're going to go back to the bad eating and you're still going to feel horrible. So it's consistency, it's putting in, it's commitment to things that you know will better your life, even if you can't see the results right now, even if you're not getting the instant gratification, right? Right? So implementing those small habits, and it's not just physical habits, it's mental habits, emotional habits. How are you dealing with things? How are you reacting to things? How are you thinking? It's all going to impact the direction that you go, who you become, your perspectives. It is. It just is. So really think about why you have the perspectives that you do and what perspectives are actually beneficial to your life and what are not. Because I can tell you that I used to be very anxious a lot of the time when I was younger. And I remember having these thoughts of, like, why should I think good? Why should I unburden myself? I felt like I had to burden myself. I had to take on the weight of the world in a certain way. And all that did was promote more resistance within me and kept me from reaching my potential. So recognize, what are you resisting? Why are you resisting it? Is it because it feels comfortable? Is it because there's a belief that if I don't feel this way, then I'm a bad person? Like if I don't focus on all the bad all the time, I'm a horrible person? That's not true. Those are the lies that we tell ourselves that keep the cycle going, the vicious cycles, mental, emotional, physical. Stop lying to yourself and reframe your mindset, your perspectives, so that you can live a better life individually. And think about it this way: once you are living a better life individually and you are pouring into your own cup, I love that saying, really, pouring into your own cup, giving yourself the attention and the care that you deserve to be the person that you're meant to be. Once you're that person you're meant to be, just watch how you contribute to the world. You're already doing it even when you're not at your fullest potential. We're human beings. We are always doing things energetically, whatever. We're always doing something. We're not just sitting here stagnant. And if you are stagnant, get out and do something. If you feel in your soul that you need to be doing things, then why aren't you doing them? You're holding yourself back. Why are you doing that? That's another thing to be asking. Why am I doing this? And why am I not doing that? For instant gratification? Because I don't think that I can? Those are self-limiting beliefs. Thinking that you can't be this better version of yourself, but you can. And regardless of that, inside, you're worth it either way. Whether you do or you don't something, you're worth it. But don't you want to live a life where you're the better version of yourself? Where you feel good? Where you know you're actively doing your best to be the best person you can? Wouldn't you want that? Really ask yourself that. I just think it's very interesting. So, I think I'm going to end it here. I hope you got something from this video. In my mind, it was a little all over the place, but maybe if I watch it back, it's not. It's usually how these videos go for me. But I hope you're having a great day. I hope this gave you something to work with, inspired you in some way. And yeah, just know you can do it. It all starts with you. It starts with yourself, your internal world, and external things don't define you. No, they do not. And you'll notice once you change that internal world, your exterior world will change too. Instantly. Well, it may not be giant breakthroughs every single day, but you will see over time, with consistency, with commitment, things change. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, and things will change for you. Stop believing that it won't. You're holding yourself back. Alright. That's it. Have a great day. Bye, my love.